Hi, this is Brian with ActiveMelody.com. In this week's guitar lesson, we're going to learn a standalone composition. It doesn't require any jam track or anything, something you can play all by yourself that's played with just two chords, a C minor 7 chord and an F7 chord. And we're just going to go back and forth like a tennis match between these two chords and just really have a little jam session, have a jam session with yourself, which is so much fun to do. Some of the best jams, in my opinion, are when there's just two chords like that. You're eliminating a lot of variables and you're keeping it simple. So this is going to be kind of low key, laid back, nothing super fast, and you're going to be able to learn how to play over these chord changes. But the best thing is you're going to have a standalone composition that you can play for other people. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone by learning this. So in this video we're going to cover the first half, which is the rhythm. If you'd like to watch the second half and download the tablature for this lesson, you can get that by going to ActiveMelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, and do a search for EP254. Alright, so let me just mention this guitar. I know I'm going to get some questions on it. This is a new guitar for me. It's a Jeff Beck Signature Series Stratocaster. I was in a guitar store the other day and I saw it hanging on the wall, and actually I've seen it several times since I've been there. And I asked the guy, what's the deal with this guitar? Why is nobody buying it? And he mentions that there's a nick on it. There's a little scratch, which isn't that bad. Somebody had dropped it or something. And I felt sorry for it. It's sitting on the wall and it needs a good home. Do I need another Stratocaster? No. But I ended up doing the right thing and bringing it home, so I feel good about myself. It has these locking tuners, which makes it really difficult to knock this thing out of tune no matter what I do to it. So that's a major bonus to it. But it's just a great sounding, great playing guitar. Alright, let's talk about the song. So we got two chords in this thing. There's a C minor 7 chord and an F7. And we're going to alternate back and forth. And you'll see that in the tablature. Every other measure is one of those chords. Now here's how to make the C minor 7. Easy chord to make. We're going to bar all 6 strings on the 8th fret, and then ring finger goes down on the 10th fret 5th string. That's a C minor 7 chord. And then the F7 chord is also easy to make. I always think of this as if you make the C chord, or C7 down in first position. So make a C chord, and then add your pinky on the 3rd fret 3rd string. That's your C7 chord, where you just take that chord shape and slide it up so that your index finger is on the 6th fret. And just remember to play just the middle 4 strings. You're not playing strings 1 or 6. But that's your F7. So now we have the C minor 7 and the F7. And you can see how they're right there beside each other. They're kind of connected. They're like, there's some connective tissue between those two. Alright, so what gives this thing the feel is the strum pattern with the right hand. So we're going to create a groove. You can see the right hand stays in the same motion the whole time. It's just when I push down and release with the left hand, really, that gives it the rhythm pattern. Now, if you're a premium member, you're going to have access to all of the strum patterns in the tablature. For the first 2 measures, I put them in there very specifically. But let me try and break it down as easily as I can here. We'll try and build this up. And in fact, this is going to be probably the hardest part of this lesson, is just getting the groove down with the right hand. So let's go ahead and start with that, making that C minor 7 chord. And here's the first thing we're going to learn. So it's down, 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 up. So it's 4 downs and an up. So it's going to be the 6th string, the 5th string, all 6 strings, and then a muted down. So down, 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 up. Now when you do that up, actually when you do all of these, you're doing these little pops, little bursts of a chord. And the way that you do that is you just release the pressure with your left hand. So you keep your fingers in place, but you don't let the chord ring out. It's knowing when to release and do a left hand mute is really what that's considered. That's what gives you a rhythm. And I know that's awkward in the beginning when you're just learning to play, trying to get that down, but just kind of keep practicing with it. Take it really slowly. Now after that, there's a muted up and a muted down, and then 2 upstrokes. So it goes up, down, up, up. So just try that. Up, down, up, up. So let's put those 2 pieces together. We have... That's perfect little rhythm right there, even if you'd never learned anything else in this entire lesson. Just taking that one groove there Now the only other thing we need to add to that is another muted up and down. So after we have the two upstrokes, we have a muted up and muted down. So now let's put the entire C minor 7 measure together. Let me do it slowly. See it? Up, down, right at the end. And by doing that, you've created that funky, kind of laid back groove. Now we're going to switch over to the F7. And this one is much easier because what we're going to do is we're just going to go down, down, up, down. Easy to say, easy to play. So it's down, down, up, down with the right hand. And then there's a stop. And when you play that stop every time, that's where I'm going to do a little fill thing. And all I'm doing for the fill licks, I'm going to show you how to play what I'm playing, but then I want you to branch out after you get comfortable with this and start improvising. So all I'm doing is just playing minor pentatonic stuff in the key of C. That's the first one we're going to do. I'm just in minor pentatonic scale pattern 1, because remember C minor, so where that bar is, that's our root fret. So we're going to come up here to the 10th fret 3rd string, and I'm going to do a full bend, release the bend and play the 10th fret without the bend, down to the 8th fret, and then back to the 10th, back to the 8th, all on the 3rd string. Pretty easy. Actually, that last bend there, last note rather, there's a little bit of a bend. Hear it? Just a slight one. All right, so let's put all of that together now. We have. See that? You can just take that now and practice looping that over and over again until you start to get comfortable with it. Don't try and do it up to tempo. There is no tempo, in fact, for this. I just sort of arbitrarily played this. I didn't set a metronome or anything. Okay. Then we go back to the C minor 7. Now the second time through, just to give it some variation, I want. Hear that? And what I'm doing there is I'm adding my pinky on the 10th fret 1st string, same upstroke. Same 2 upstrokes. So by adding our pinky there, that's a D note, and so we're converting that C minor 7 chord into a C minor 9 chord. So just remember that if you're ever playing a minor chord and you're looking for some variations to make it sound more interesting, it works no matter what the tempo is, what the groove, you can always work that note in just to give you some variation to your rhythm. So after we play that, then we go back to the F7, same down, down, up, down, and then this time I played a different lick. I went, and I got this one from Robin Ford. I use this all the time. Remember these licks too. These are little takeaways that you can use and apply in your own playing. So you can see where this is in relation to your root fret. So all I'm doing is I'm taking that root fret, I'm going down 2 frets from that. So in this case it would be the 6th fret. Barring the first 2 strings, and doing a hammer on to the 8th fret 2nd string. And I use that all the time when I'm soloing. There's a lot of things you can do with that. But anyway, after that, there's a pull off. So after I play that, I keep the bar down, but I put my middle finger down on the 7th fret 2nd string and do a pull off. And then I come down to the 8th fret 3rd string, back to the 6th fret 2nd string, and then back to the 8th fret 3rd string. That's what the lick sounds like. So that happens right after. Then we go right back. And now you can see what I'm doing there. I'm actually staying in the key of the song. So I was not changing scales to match the chord. I was playing an F7 chord, but I was staying in the key of the song, so I'm just staying in that C minor pentatonic for all these licks that I'm doing. That makes it easy. Let's back it up from the beginning. Now we're back to the C minor 7. Now this time, to give it another variation, and I use this one all the time too. That's a great minor lick to remember, and that's kind of coming out of the Hendrix rhythm stuff. because it's so easy to do. So what you're doing is you're barring. Now we're just going to bar the top 3 strings, so we're not doing all 6. And we're going to play strings 2 and 3. And I do a hammer-on between the 8th fret and the 10th fret on the 3rd string. And then I came down, I think I put this in the tab. So my ring finger goes like this. So from the 10th fret back to the 8th fret and then back to the 10th fret but on the 4th string. And then I do the same thing but down a set of strings. So now I'm going to let my finger bar all 4 strings, and we're going to play strings 3 and 4. Do the hammer on again between the 8th fret and the 10th fret now on the 4th string. And then it goes down to the 5th string on the 10th fret here. So that's what that little lick sounds like. Now there's a million variations you can do on that. When you're playing a minor rhythm, you can, I think that's what I ended up doing. But you could do just any version of that. You can go up and down and up. You can play them slowly. You can pick the notes out of them. So start playing around with using those as little rhythm fills. So then after we go back to the F7, down, down, up, down, stopping it so that we can play another lead lick. Now I'm going to stay in the C minor pentatonic scale, and I'm going to play. So that's our next lick. So that's right out of minor pentatonic scale pattern 1. So I'm going to start here by bending on the 11th fret 2nd string. It's a full bend, so you're trying to hit this note. And then we're going to match that note up here on the 8th fret 1st string. So you go. You can see these notes are right out of that minor pentatonic scale pattern 1. And I'm just going to walk down the pattern from here. So that's 8th fret 1st string, 11th fret 2nd string, 8th fret 2nd string, 10th fret 3rd string, 8th fret 3rd string, and then the 10th fret 4th string. Just right down the scale. So with the right hand, it's just alternate picked. It's down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So then after that, I went back to that C minor 7 and did that same little lick that we just did. I just did it twice. So, and then we go to the F7, but this time I went kind of a James Brown thing. I hear like a horn section, and you can see the left hand is rocking like that every time I'm pushing down but releasing so that the notes don't ring out. Now you could let them ring out. It would give you a different effect, but just keep that in mind. So that may be a great practice for some of you that are new to left-hand muting. Just trying to get that going. But that's really the whole first half. Now then after that, you've defined the rhythm, so then we go into the lead. And all of the lead stuff stands on its own. It doesn't need anything underneath it because you've defined that. So we're going to save that for the part 2 video. We've got a lot of rhythm stuff in this for you to practice. Let me back up now and we'll go through it slowly one more time, and then I'll see you in part 2 for the lead stuff. So here we go.